Hey everybody, welcome back. These are the IPL4 Qualifiers, round of 16. I am Hat Person, with me is the Red Baron. We just had an amazing game one. If you didn't know about Moscow 5, now you know. Now you're fully informed about this fantastic EU powerhouse.
Really powerful. And they didn't even, the one thing we had always talked about with Moscow 5 is how they're so focused on counter jungling and how their counter jungling is so strong. But that wasn't the case at all. They they had a super tank team, and were able to roll with it.
Hey, you got it. Nocturne coming in, fantastic offensive clairvoyance is coming from Sona. Alex up top lane with Vladimir and AD Kennen.
Yep.
AD Kennen.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what, I don't even remember the name. Western Wolves now is going to do to deal with it. I mean, you have to win the early, I think, against that kind of sustained team. I don't think you can ban out all the picks. There's so many champions that you can build tanky as the game progresses.
Yep.
And you also see why the Cassiopeia ban was so strong, because Cassiopeia as a champion, that's like her biggest thing. Not only is she, very strong as a whole, but she's a great counter to tanky melee comps. So, ban out Cassiopeia, their whole comp is, sitting there ready to go. I don't know that you ban Kennen. Kennen did very well. Nocturne, I don't know that you ban Nocturne. There's a number of other junglers like Lee Sin who could do the exact same role. Nocturne did give them great initiation, though. They're not going to ban Vladimir. Vladimir, he would have won it late game for them, but wasn't really the biggest issue. So
we are going straight in. Game number 2.
It's weird. I don't know who you're going to ban from this comp. I think Western Wolves probably needs to get themselves, more focused on a melee comp. Like a champ like Morgana instead of LeBlanc would help out as they engage. If they have a lot of poke, they probably need, a lot of damage bottom lane. Like if they had a champion like Kog'Maw, the only concern is if we have Nocturne versus Kog'Maw, Kog'Maw is going to be very vulnerable to that. So maybe Sivir. Sivir does very well against those tanky melee comps, but really they're going to need to get their bot farmed. And Graves is kind of more of a burst DPS. He doesn't have the same late game as some of the others, so maybe they, I would think they need to switch up their DPS to someone who's really sustained damage in these fights. But we'll have to see.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. So Western Wolves, they banned out Vladimir and Shyvana. I can understand why the Vladimir ban, because top lane was just, just immovable objects up top lane. It took forever for either one of the champs up top, Aurelia or Vlad, to be chunked out in order to be killed. And I think Western Wolves is trying to be, a little bit more aggressive and try to establish lanes in which they're confident in winning. And I don't feel they're confident after game 1 that they can beat Vlad in lane.
Yeah, that's true. Vladimir, he hadn't really gotten that involved in the game yet, but he does, give him that tanky presence. He does just shut down the top lane. So if they want to try, if they're going to run an aggressive jungle again, they're going to need someone who's not, that safe in lane. And Kennen and Vladimir were both very safe champions in lane that Alistar couldn't gank, and that was one of the downfalls of Western Wolves.
Yep. So we actually have the same 3 bans from M5, but Western Wolves, first game, they banned Shyvana, Galio, and Karthus. They kept the Shyvana ban, so Galio and Karthus are now open.
Yeah.
So we'll see if M5 decides to take either one of those. And while we're waiting for that pick, once again, I just want to thank all 23,000 of you watching at home. We appreciate all you guys tuning in, spending some time with us today on your Sunday, or possibly even Monday. And just fantastic games going on all day today. Sona being the first pick for M5.
Yeah, it's definitely a good decision. She can just really hold down the bot lane. She's very strong. And also, Sona is one of those champions who's an effective counter to melee comps. So, you definitely don't want to allow Western Wolves to pick her. Not counterable. They can really go anywhere with Sona if they want to run the same comp or run something different.
Sona still, like I said, this is Tournament Realm, so we are, this is Sona without the nerfs, without the recent nerfs. so she's still a pretty huge powerhouse in the support position. But Sivir being taken in for Western Wolves and Maokai.
Yeah, Sivir, like I said a second ago, Sivir is one of those better sustained champions. Definitely works better against a tanky comp. And then Maokai, he does give them damage reduction. He is still very aggressive in the jungle. Just a strong pick overall. I'd be kind of concerned to see Katarina this early. She's more of a counter pick late because she can get lots of damage off, but then all Western Wolves needs to do is pick up a bunch of disables. Though at the same time, you can make the argument that if they have to waste their disables on Katarina, then she's done her job. But I definitely think that Ryze fits their playstyle more. He's very strong in lane. He can beat really anyone. And he is that tanky DPS caster as the game progresses instead of Vladimir.
And Gangplank did really well for M5 Game 1 as well. Just became an absolute train. You just could not stop him in the charge. You just could not do it. Could not take him down.
Oh wow! So Corki actually is the pick, and Corki, very strong early game, is more of a nuker caster. It will allow Western Wolves to potentially pick up Ryze, which I think would probably be a strong pick. If they got Ryze, it wouldn't allow M5 to get into that same tanky comp that they have, and it would still give them great single target damage. Ryze and Maokai is a very effective combo mid lane. Maokai comes in, Twisted Advance someone, Ryze takes him down, and then you can also pass the blue to Ryze. So that would probably be a good pick, and here they are actually going to grab it. And I'm not sure where Yamato Cannon's going to go. He was their top lane, so I guess he's going to go Volibear top. I'm not sure if that's going to be the pick or not. We'll have to see.
I haven't seen Volibear. We are getting a Volibear in here. We have a bear in the room. I'm not sure what Western Wolves is going to be doing with a bear.
And I guess I'm going to have to review how strong Volibear is as a champion if he's being played, because he does have very good scaling late game if he can get his items, and if he's top, he will be able to probably get his items. I'm really curious about this Darien pick, though. We'll have to see if that's the case or not. But the one thing that Volibear does have is he's got lots of great AoE damage with his ultimate in particular. So against an AoE team, or against a melee team, that AoE damage will help you out.
And even then, Volibear's passive just keeps him alive for so much longer. He's just really annoying to kill early on in the game when you don't have that high burst.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we did mention before, so Karthus was not banned by Western Wolves this time, so he is open. Ghost of Pepper, one of the other picks for M5, filling in some of the lacking AP damage by picking a Mumu, so Mumu will more likely be in the jungle.
I'm kind of surprised by their comp right now, though, because Janna is still available. They're, Western Wolves presumably will pick up Janna. It will make it for a strong bottom lane. And then they already have Maokai. Maokai is a pretty decent counter to AoE teams, and they're running a Mumu and Karthus. Gangplank is somewhat AoE, though he's mostly, single target. And Soraka, actually. So not Janna, but that's actually a pretty good pick. Soraka, will give Sivir a very easy lane bottom, since Corki and Sona are such an aggressive lane, so Sivir can farm. And then also it counters out Karthus very effectively. Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of discussion whether, Soraka is a good pick or not against the Karthus.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, not even calculating Karthus into the formula, it's good heals. Good heals, especially if you have a Volibear on your team who just sometimes refuses to die.
But we are coming into the game here, and I don't know, I'm kind of excited. Volibear actually taking Doran's, so that's a little bit surprising to me, since Gangplank's going to be top. I don't know that Volibear can sustain through Gangplank. Like, that's going to be a big concern we're going to have to watch, because Gangplank has very slow harass over time. But Volibear, I don't know, I would generally think of him as a weak champion, even with his passive. He's a very strong defensive passive early game.
Yeah, so his passive, if you do not know, he does regain a little bit of his health if he gets a little bit too low. And that should keep him in lane and in team fights just a tad longer if need be. And right now, Alex is just trying to see what he can do here in mid lane. But most of Western Wolves are trying to get the slow invader, trying to peek in to see if they can get some vision on the inside of the M5 jungle. But Volibear actually getting in, gets the flip off on Alex, and we got the stun from Ryze, and Alex actually goes right down under his own tower. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's a little bit
That's rough.
careless. He probably should have flashed, once Volibear got too close. Or actually, to be honest, he really just needed to not be there.
Yeah.
But
So, I mean, I can understand why he was in that position. He just wanted to go in, get some harass, get some Skittles in. But that's what Volibear does.
And the worst thing about that is it allowed Volibear to go pick up a health pot. And I think Volibear was definitely kind of susceptible in that top lane. It was going to be difficult for him. But that health pot, along with the Dorans, he should be fine now. He should be able to sustain plenty in that lane against Gangplank. And it's kind of interesting to watch. You know, Volibear, I'm sure he probably picked that ability last second, to try and get that kill, since it is kind of a weaker laning ability. So he is going to be a little bit weak in lane for a second, having that toss. But otherwise, he should be looking pretty good with that assist.
For picking a skill level 1 to get an assist, that's a pretty good trade. And usually, in a lot of high tier play, you'll see a lot of players not even pick their ability until they're fairly certain where the game's going to go. So if you feel that you're not going to get the gank, you're just going to go ahead and not get that stun. But right now, Kerp is actually leading Diamond Eyes in the jungle. And Kerp actually does have, they both have their blue. They're just going back and forth, but Kerp playing it a little bit dangerous because Karthus is nearby. And
Kerp just helping out Amumu there. He was like, hey, sorry I slowed you down. Here's a sapling for your wraiths.
You can never feel regret. There's no regret in League of Legends. You can't be doing that right now. Or we could just see it's a good show of sportsmanship.
Amumu made a friend.
Amumu made a friend. It's a little tree thing, and then it exploded and it died. The end.
But Amumu is going to try and get level 6 as fast as possible. I would assume it's probably going to be pretty tough for him to gank until level 6. But level 6 is definitely slower in the current jungle than it was in the old one. So
yes,
we'll see how that works out for him. Maokai definitely going to have the advantage there. Might try a lot of aggressive counter jungling later. He tried to come in a little bit there, but we'll have to watch.
M5 being ridiculously aggressive down bot lane, and I was kind of surprised that Sivir's actually taking quite a few too many hits down there.
Yeah, and that's really, Corki's one of the strongest early game champions. Just has that burst. Sivir can generally play pretty passively, but it's the combination of Corki and Sona, just a really aggressive lane.
Diamond Eyes, I believe, is going to be wandering up around top, and Kerp is just going to go ahead and catch up a little bit. But Kerp is actually behind. Diamond Eyes is actually full already. So right now, really quick into the game. So Volibear did, with the assistance of that nice little run flip that you do, we did get the early kill off in mid of overextended Alex.
Yeah, and I just noticed that Sivir actually was the one who got that first blood, so was able to pick up the Dorans, and Corki a little bit out of position here. We do have Maokai coming in, but he's going to Valkyrie away, but Gosu Pepper is very close to getting picked off. He's dodging down, but he's going to get that Twisted Advance in. There he goes.
Twisted Advance keeping Sona still in place, because remember, Sivir's Boomerang does hit once on the way there and once on the way back. If you do that against a still object, it's going to hit both times, so that's quite a big chunk of damage, especially on a low health support as is.
Yeah, and Sivir, like we said, because of that first blood, is starting off with a lot of damage, that Dorans and the boots and health pots, so that's a huge advantage in that bot lane. Even so, Kenja's been doing pretty well there.
So Metalex is now doing some pushing of his own, trying to get back at M5 just a little bit for their pushing earlier. Their aggressive play, but and we did have a nice little we had a CV over there just to check what was going on, and we were questioning how Volibear is going to match up against Gangplank, and I think the truth is in the numbers there. So Darian actually was taking quite a few large chunks of health away earlier. Mm-hmm. He was just popping oranges just to regain back some health.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of interesting to see him doing so well in that top lane. We'll have to keep an eye on that. I think it's partially because he was able to go with the aggressive item, and then fortunately, have the health pot to back him up. But Amumu actually bandage tossing into Maokai, and he's a little bit out of position here. I'm not sure why he was, trying to push that down, but we'll have to see. I think the thing probably to look out for in this game coming forward is that Karthus, really blue dependent. Maokai, one of the best control junglers in the game. So if Western Wolves can steal the blue from M5, that'll really help them out a lot. And then Karthus is also a very gank-prone mid lane. He's, I don't know, he just doesn't have a lot of mobility. So if we can get the snare and then, the Maokai combo like we talked about earlier, we could potentially see, Karthus giving up a couple of kills there.
So Ghost of Pepper's actually being a little bit too aggressive, but that's what the pre-nerf Sona can do. But it did kind of backfire earlier on. But right now, Maokai is actually wandering around. I question if Volibear has to sustain against Gangplank, but does he have the damage? We're about to find out. Maokai coming in. Volibear gets the flip. Maokai, can we get the twisted advance? Yes, we can. Flash away. Will not be able to get away from it.
Yeah,
Gangplank has
down.
no option but to use his ult, and the Ignite will... no!
Wow.
What? The Ignite, that's the flash, and there we go. Maokai finishes it off, but wow. I thought he was going to get away.
Yeah, Namumu almost catching up to, help him out there. But Diamondez actually coming into this mid lane. He's going to get the bandage toss, but missing it. And Solo Gamer was slowed. I would have thought that he would have been able to get that. But
wow.
in the meantime, bot lane, actually, never mind. They're backing off.
Yep. Good on Solo. He juked just enough. It's like he saw the path that Diamondez was trying to take and just adjusted accordingly. So good job.
That was one of the issues with the Mumu as a jungler, is he's very easy to avoid his ganks. And he doesn't hit the bandage toss, then what is it? He's got nothing.
Yep. And also one more note on the gank that happened top. If Maokai has already targeted you for Twisted Advance and you flash away while the animation is going off, he will follow you. And that's exactly what happened in that gank. So right now, Rise is actually being targeted out in a Mumu. Diamondez actually does get the grab this time. Maokai getting Twisted Advance through the forest. And Diamondez actually being focused now. Ignite will finish him off. And now Alex is in a bit of trouble. He's got a tree chasing him, but Kerb is actually taking quite a deal in pursuit, but he's going to try anyway. But Kerb is actually out of mana.
Down. Yep.
Kerb is out of mana, cannot finish the job.
And I don't know, Mumu not very tanky early in the game, trying to kind of bait them in for Karthus to catch up, but they definitely have the weaker early game team. So I'm a little bit surprised they're not playing a little bit more defensively and just kind of allowing the game to happen to them. I think kind of a forced engage there, allowing Solo Gamer to pick up the kill.
Yep. Sapling Toss actually being leveled up by Maokai, so he wants that projectile damage when he enters those team fights. So right now, we are 9 minutes in, and Western Wolves, despite having a 4-kill lead, is only 1K ahead, which I thought that'd be a little bit more sizable.
Yeah, I mean Karthus winning mid a little bit. We do have Gangplank beating Volibear. Actually, for all we were talking about how well Volibear was doing, Gangplank is about 15 CS ahead of him. So, and that is the thing. He is safer to farm than Volibear. So.
Yeah. I think they just, they really wanted to trade off. I think, Western Wolves was more content not winning the lane. They just want to be able to sustain the lane. Which Volibear is, he is indeed a bear, and he can do that pretty well. Sona doing some counter warding in the bot river bush, making sure Western Wolves has a little less vision, making them a little bit more open to ganks. And Maokai actually being a pretty good guy, tossing over red buff to Volibear, still have a small advantage and be able to slow Gangplank a little bit in top lane.
Yeah, and that red buff definitely gives Volibear, something of an advantage. Gangplank, he has the range to harass, but Volibear is definitely a faster champion, so Gangplank has to be concerned that if he allows Volibear to close the gap, he won't be able to escape, and that'll be something to watch out for.
And Maokai doesn't usually have a whole lot of use for red buff. It's mostly about getting the Twisted Advance and then the Q, just to keeping their gank target in one spot. So Volibear will absolutely get more use out of the red buff than Maokai can. And Maokai also does have a Oracles, getting ready to clear some buffs, and they're getting ready for this attempt at Dragon in the near future.
I'm actually more surprised by the Cage's pick on Maokai than the Oracles. I mean, he does scale very well off of ability power, and he wants those gold pretends because he is kind of that roaming jungler. But I because of the team they have, I would have expected him to go for a Heart of Gold instead. so that he could, I don't know, be more physical champion in these team fights.
But he is leveling up the sapling toss first, so I feel he wants to be a little bit more of a damage dealer. But right now in mid, Amumu actually going in. The edge of Diamond Eyes' ult actually catching Solo Gamer just enough. Wow, he caught the tip of that one.
Yeah, and you could see Western Wolves didn't have very good ward coverage down there. We do have the Twisted Advance, but then Corki Valkyrie under the tower, and now Maokai's taking a lot of damage from that tower, and the Karthus ult following it up. Not going to pick up any kills, but going to dissuade them for a second.
Soraka ult going down just in time to negate the damage from Karthus. That's what that ult is designed to do for this game, and that is why they picked her. But right now, Diamond Eyes will actually start up Dragon, seeing as Western Wolves are actually down a man.
Yeah, and Karthus is very good at Dragon, but he is a little bit low on mana, so that's going to be a concern, but they should take it pretty easily. Actually going to back off.
Huh. When Amumu can only tank so much.
Yeah, I think it was the mana issue. And there you saw, we said earlier, Amumu is a pretty weak jungler at taking Dragon. And then, because Karthus was low on mana, it didn't really give him the best opportunity. They knew that they would take too long and potentially have it stolen, which, that's never something that you want. It just sets you so far behind.
Nobody ever likes to have their dragon stolen. No, that's just something. That's something no one likes. No one can ever like that. But right now, Kerp getting quite a bit of money for the oracles that he purchased, and right now starting up on Dragon, waiting for the rest of his team to come by and help him out. But
and
right now,
they're actually going to have a free advantage Dragon. I mean, it's going to be tough for Moscow 5 to come defend it because Karthus, his ult is down and he's nowhere to be seen.
And Ghost of Pepper actually seeing Metal X in their Diamond Eyes. He's getting in. He sees what they're doing. But Western Wolves have backed off enough for Dragon to go ahead and reset. And they're actually engaging here on Genja. But Sona ult from Ghost of Pepper will dissuade them, and they will back off. The Karthus is coming around. Alex is alone. He should be careful.
It's going to be tough for him to control it. I mean, he probably should just go mid, farm, and push up the tower, because there's really no chance of him stealing it with his skews. And all he's going to do is get himself killed.
Yep. And in the meantime, actually, Volibear's actually also been brought quite low up top by Gangplank, who is now making his way down. But I think M5 is actually going to go ahead and try and make the steal.
Wow.
They do not do it, but at what cost? Diamond Eyes is actually ignited, and Karthus was right in the middle of all of that, getting Rise and Maokai kills in the process.
And 3v4 taking them down. They did have the Gangplank ult. I'm a little bit surprised that AoE worked out so well for them, but it just absolutely destroyed Western Wolves. And yeah, I mean, it's an even exchange. Dragon is worth about 2 kills. They got 2 kills, so.
Even trade. But still, though, it's kind of like, it's a little bit demoralizing for Western Wolves, knowing that they kind of had the advantage in a team fight, but still, they still lost.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just this psychological game from going on from this point forward, and also Amumu managing to get away despite being ignited. So we are about 14 minutes into the game. Gold, pretty even. Dragon's Dragon is now fallen, so we will see that in about 5 minutes. And Western Wolves trying to find their place to see where they can go from here. And Volibear.
M5 just destroying in farm, though. I mean, all of their laners are, doing an exceptional job. So coming into this mid game, they're gonna, be ready to go. And with that AoE damage with their fights, it's gonna be pretty formidable.
Yeah. So I think Volibear hitting Maokai, getting the Ninja Tabby, getting the Phage. I believe we're gonna be got the Kindle Gem. Also probably gonna be going for Shirelia's later on, followed by a Frozen Mallet, just to get that speed boost. He wants the slow on whoever he decides to target. So I think they're really counting. Western Wolves is really counting on Volibear to be their big initiator.
I think he might be going for Zeke's Herald, because if he's going for Shirelia's, I agree Shirelia's would be a really good item for his team, but I would have to imagine that he would have bought the Philosopher's Stone if he was going for Shirelia's. But Zeke's Herald does build off of the Ruby Gem, or whatever it's called. It's not the Ruby Gem, but so that would actually work very well with their team, since they do have the sustain comp with the tanks. Volibear very tanky, and then Sivir trying to get that sustain damage. So that's probably where they're going with that.
So I will think though that if Western Wolves does use Volibear as their main initiator, if M5, if they can get like a maybe Rylai's or something on Karthus, just to slow Volibear down on the approach, he becomes useless.
Maybe. I think the wall from Karthus is just generally strong enough. It's I think it's like a 40% slow, so it's really high.
I forgot about the wall too.
And it's just so hard to hit the dots that the AoE damage from his E isn't going to be enough to slow that much. They're actually pinging Baron because they don't have very good vision of it on Moscow 5, so they're kind of wondering where the enemy is. Kind of engaging here, but we do have Diamondez coming in. He's going to get the bandage toss, and he's going to get the ultimate when he throws it off there. He's going to get it on Sivir. He's actually not going to use it. He's going to hold on to it for a second. There it goes. And now we have the ultimate from Sona as well as Karthus, and they're going to get a couple of kills there. Really effective play. And where's Karthus? Oh, he was in the base. So
Perfect stun lock from M5. Amumu got the ult off. Gosu Pepper waited just for a right moment when that stun was about to expire until he let the Sona ult go. And that's just leaving two members of Western Wolves just dancing in place for way much longer than they want to be. And Yamato actually now going good against Alex.
Yeah, he's wow, actually going to get the toss and do a lot of damage to Alex there.
Yikes! Kind of a flashback to the beginning of the game almost.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like I said, like you're saying, there's a slow from the wall, and all of a sudden.
Oh wow, Corki chasing down Soraka in the bot lane after getting the tower.
Yep.
Not going to be able to do enough damage. Soraka does have that armor buff, so he's going to have to get out of there. But now we have Sivir chasing him down. Not going to use the ultimate, but just getting a little bit of damage before Corki's going to recall.
And so I think this lane switch is maybe a little bit overdue from Western Wolves. But Alex still trying to get as much hurt on the bear while he can. And Maokai is actually going to be coming around, but Karthus has been pushed too far back.
And I kind of like that. I mean, it's an interesting idea. Ryze does do very well against kind of bruisers. So, will be very strong top lane now that he's got his mana items. Volibear, as we've seen, can be really aggressive, engaging on him, but we have Diamondez coming up here, and Kerp is going to see him, so he's going to have to get out of there. Diamondez is going to get the stun off, but he doesn't have anyone to back him off, so he's probably going to hold on to it. There's the bandage toss, just getting a little bit of damage, maybe kind of scary, because Volibear get that toss back.
Yeah. So Western Wolves trying to push down to that tower, but Corki actually getting quite a bit of burst in on Soraka, and Gangplank using the ult, trying to slow her down just enough. And will Corki be able to win? A summer heal going off, or waiting for another heal from Soraka. Oh, Flash getting away out of the missile. Fantastic timing from Soraka. One more missile going down. Where is it? Where's the Valkyrie? Can we see it?
He doesn't have enough mana.
He does not have enough mana.
He could have flashed after him and probably gotten the kills, but
here comes Maokai. Heal going off from Sona, keeping Corgi out. There's a flash. There's why you save the flash. But CV going down from Western Wolves, trying to get some additional vision, and Kerp will not be able to get the Corki kill. Wow, wonderful, wonderful stuff. That flash from Soraka was at the last possible moment to dodge that final missile for death. It's kind of like a movie title, Missile for Death. I don't know.
It's kind of like a what?
kind of like a movie title, almost. Missile for Death.
Really bad,
really bad, like straight to DVD.
B movie,
straight to DVD.
I do, with my dad. I remember watching when I was younger, The Guns of Navarone, which is a like 50s World War II movie about like U.S. and British spies taking down. There was this giant Nazi cannon that overlooked the Mediterranean. It was like a 100-foot-long cannon that could just win any ship. And actually, we have a Mumu coming in. They're going to be stealing this blue here. So Missile Death's kind of like Guns of Navarone.
We'll get Corki in that Red Baron skin. We'll make a little DVD cover. We'll put it right in there. But right now, Genji's actually a little bit overextended down bot lane. Has some Valkyrie away, but the bear, his Q runs out just in time. But Metal X popping the ult.
Gosu Pepper with the Imba distraction there. Just kind of throwing them off. I think they probably could have chased down Corki, but maybe didn't want to chase too long, get themselves out of position. So they know because Corki, really can't fight now, they're going to be in a pretty good position to take this dragon, but they still have to worry about the AoE.
Position.
And there goes the ultimate from Sona, but Gosu Pepper is going to go down, and the ultimates combined of Alex Ich and Diamondez are going to get their kills on Soraka. They're chasing down Solo Gamer here. Alex Ich is going to go down, but he's not going to have his ultimate. It's actually used. Oh, there it goes. So picking up a couple of kills. Gangplank going to be chasing some people down. Corki able to pick up the kill on the Ryze, and now Darian is chasing down Kerp. He does not have his flash, so he is going to go down here. If they can get the slow, there it goes.
There's the ace. So it's Western Wolves got a little bit too overzealous. They got the Sona kill convincingly. It's like, hey guys, we got the kill. Everybody come on in. But they kept on filing in one by one, which allowed M5 to get that wonderful engagement they needed. Everyone was so clumped together trying to continue the fight, and they just could not get there.
And they have such a strong advantage right now, of course. Actually, Volibear was going for a Spirit Visage. That's another common item.
Goes
I don't
great
know
with
how
the
much
passive.
does... well, that's true. It does go with his passive. I was going to say, does he have a lot of regen? His passive does give him a lot. So that works out for him. He will want to be very tanky. But, we do have a 5k advantage for M5, and just the fact that their AoE comp is just so devastating. If Western Wolves doesn't split up a little bit more in these fights, that could really hurt them. But if Western Wolves is able to survive through all of that damage, then they will have a pretty strong sustain comp. We don't have any lifesteal from them yet, but I would expect that's coming shortly.
Yep. So right now, Ghost of Pepper actually being caught out again.
Oh, wow.
We'll see if NH has no choice but to flash away. But the extra damage will...
It was the delayed banana attack.
It was the banana. Banana. Now I'm thinking Futurama.
I have no idea what that's got to do with Futurama. I'll allow it.
No, it was the monkey
But
episode.
wow, no, go back up. Yamato Cannon chasing down Alex Ich. Wow, just able to destroy him. That's pretty surprising to see that damage output from, Volibear. And just because of his speed, Karthus is a very vulnerable champion. And now Maokai and Ryze are comboing onto Gangplank. They're going to back out now because Gangplank is throwing his ultimate. And they're going to have to tank that tower. But nice little burst there.
Yes. So, man, the M5, pretty commanding lead right now, hitting the mid-game. 4K advantage, pretty much. And Western will take this top tower. The Bear will take it.
I mean, but Volibear, I don't know. I've never seen him in competitive play before, but he's been doing pretty well this match. He's farmed pretty well. He's been seeming to be a great counter to Karthus, even though he is kind of that melee champion. Yep. And we actually have Yamato Cannon baiting in Darien, and now Maokai's coming in. And Yamato Cannon, is he going to have that passive? Probably, I would assume. So he's just chasing down Darien with that red buff, moving into position so he can continue chasing. He throws off the heal, but now Karthus' ult's coming in. It's going to be able to pick up the kill. And now can Gangplank sustain through Maokai? They're going to turn this around. Gangplank is definitely going to chase him down for this kill. No mana onto Maokai. He does flash away, but there's the Ignite and the one last parlay. So able to turn it around.
Gank's gone wrong right there. It's just Gangplank just 2v1'd them. That's fantastic. That is amazing.
But in the meantime, Genja's going to get some good damage on this tower bot. No one to really defend it. We do have Solo Gamer coming down. Game's slowing down for a second. That was kind of weird. I guess it's good. But he is coming down, so they're going to have to back off.
And now Karthus is pushing in on mid. Only Sivir to defend. And Sivir actually taking quite a fair share of damage, trying to fend off all those minis. And Diamond Eye is actually peeking into the jungle, seeing if he can do something, because their blue should be, I don't recall when their blue was last up, but it should be soon.
I was actually just kind of thinking about it, and it's kind of interesting to kind of compare the AD carries. Corki definitely a lot stronger early game, does have that advantage. Sivir will have the better sustain. He has some nice AoE damage, but Corki, once you get a lot of items on Corki, Corki's also one of the strongest late game champions. But Sivir is going to be able to stall this game for a while. He can clear out the creep waves very easily, and we do see that M5 has kind of an early game team, and Volibear is starting to get on his own. As Volibear gets more and more items, he's kind of that devastating melee DPS kind of guy. But if Sivir can stall out this game long enough where that Karthus-Amumu combo isn't just instantly bursting down Western Wolves, then they could have a serious shot at taking this game back.
Western Wolves was well aware that their blue was being stolen. CV went down just to see it go away. And right now Yamato Cannon actually chasing down Darien, but after what happened last time, I'm not sure if he should be engaging on that. And M5 just going ahead, continuing the push down mid. They want to get these mid towers down.
Yeah, they know that they need to, kind of pressure Western Wolves some before the game carries on too long, because Western Wolves does have a very, very strong late game team comp. You know, it just seems like they're a little bit questioning themselves for what objectives they should be taking. I think they really want to protect their own mid tower, which is why they're coming mid. They don't want to allow that map advantage to go to Western Wolves. I would say if they had a normal jungler that they would, you know, definitely be trying to pressure Baron, because Karthus is very good at Baron, Corki is, Gangplank is, but Amumu is actually pretty weak at Baron. He should be able to tank it for them. So, you know, if they have an opportunity, they'll take it, but otherwise they might pressure it. And actually, Yamato Cannon's just going to tank this mid tower. We do have Diamond Dez coming in, and then the flash in from Alex Edge doing a ton of damage, but Yamato Cannon is not going down. There he is, almost close to going down. The ult from Karthus will surely pick him up, and then it's all down to Corki. Can he pick up this? There he goes, finally grabbing Volibear, but the rest of Western Wolves is still doing fine. And Gangplank coming in now, going to try and burst down Soraka. He's going to actually have to turn away from her, using his sustain. And Sivir going to flash after Corki, picking up the kill on Genja. Darien, there he is, able to pick up the kill onto Ryze, and he's going to be able to get this one on Soraka as well. So can he hunt down Sivir? She's trying to recall. He knows she's there. The flash in and the ultimate from Sona, able to pick up the kill.
Perfectly timed. Wonderful CVs from Gosu Pepper all day today. Wow.
And it's a shame that one more person from M5 isn't alive right now, because that would actually be a great opportunity for Baron. But even so, Darien coming in late and cleaning up for his team. He will be able to take mid tower.
Hey, Baron's nice, but a tower's fine too.
Yeah, and Dragon as well. So
and Dragon's pretty good too.
Getting a little bit of map control there.
Yes. So man, Western Wolves, they got a little bit too overzealous. I mean, Yamato going in to tank the tower straight up. It was their cue. It was the cue for M5 to just go all in, because if they get the stun off, someone's going to be taking quite a bit of sustained turret damage while the rest of them come in.
And now Sona is going to have to recall, because we might see a grouping at Baron. If they recognize that Sona's low and engage, it might give Western Wolves an opportunity. Gangplank maybe going to go after Dragon. He's actually just going to leave it alone. He recognizes that Western Wolves has had the opportunity to come back up. So he's going to go now, but Maokai does have vision of him. We'll have to see, you know, whether or not the rest of them group up. We do have Karthus versus Volibear top, though, so if they get this Dragon, it is going to be scary. And Volibear is chasing down Karthus in that top lane. There's the slow. Probably going to be able to get out, but he's got to turn away. Soraka is there as well. Volibear not going to be able to get him.
So M5 got the Dragon pretty quickly as it was, and Western Wolves just not able to go and connect with that, and Alex able to get away from top. But right now doing some counter warding down in front of the Baron. M5 is getting ready for whenever the opportunity presents itself. They want to be able to just go in, get Baron, and get out. And they do have quite a commanding lead right now. 8K in gold up. And I gotta say, Western Wolves was a little bit too overzealous in these last few team fights. And here we go, M5.
They're going to bait out the Baron.
CV going down for Western Wolves. They know they're doing it.
And it will drop very quickly, and Karthus does have the blue to keep himself regenerated there.
Sivir trying to get a poke in, trying for a hopeful steal, but right now Shirel is being popped. Gangplank ult going down. They want to get the engage. Amumu goes off on Ryze and Sivir. Both of them melting very quickly. Maokai will not be able to get away. Sona whiffs the ultimate, but Volibear being chased, and Soraka the burst is too much for the bear.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It all started with the Gangplank ult. Gangplank, you know, with Sona does give them great initiating opportunities with both the movement speed and then the ult to, you know, slow them down. And they recognized they had an early game team. They had that great AoE, that they were still winning the AoE comp. So they wanted to bait the Baron to try and get them in there. And now the free Baron after a couple of kills. And they have, once again, a fairly commanding lead in this game, though we still saw Volibear was extremely tanky. Gosu Pepper very close to going down. He did try and find Kerp and was able to successfully grab him. There we go, Alex Ditch picking up the last kill.
Kerp should have recalled when he had the chance, or even at the very least denied himself, because now he's not going to be able to help the rest of his team when M5 does this huge push with Baron right at their front door. So Kerp is going to be down for the next 20 seconds or so, and M5, Genja, going to be pushing this top lane. Benelux is going to go ahead and watch him do it. Ryze, Soraka trying to defend what they can. And right now, and right there, Sivir just the Valkyrie in. It'll do that. And Yamato Cannon wandering up, and he's not going to be able to do too much. Now we are hitting the slow push. M5 has Baron. There's not a whole lot Western Wolves can do. So We're just going to wait for the creeps. We're just going to go in.
They will want to watch out, though, because Kerp is coming down, and they know Karthus is bottom. They can still see him, so they are actually going to be able to get out of there. You know, Gangplank did have his cleanse, but if they were able to pick up Corki, then that would have been pretty devastating.
But yeah, Karthus.
Hope you guys enjoyed that.
Right now, Alex just the entire time has just been pushing bot. But looks like Amumu managed to be caught out of position. Diamond Eyes is in a bit of a pickle here. He's trying to get away, gets the pull off on Kerp, trying to do something, but Karthus is now in. He's got the AoE damage, doing as much as he can. He will actually die, but the ult is going off. Will be enough to take down Yamato. Yes, it will. Rise also very low. Corki cleaning that up. Corki, will he be able to go in and get engaged on Kerp? But in the meantime, Darian just taking down Metalux all by himself. Soraka being there trying to heal as much as she can, and Darian just getting the last bit of damage he need. Ridiculously low. Still has the buff, but Genja getting off the summoner heal. Wonderful, wonderful timing. And
so
that is
awesome.
another ace for M5.
I was going to say, Genja was chasing down Kerp, and Kerp, you know, underneath the tower, twisted advance Corki. But I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't see Diamondez throw off his ultimate since he was going down anyway. It is a pretty long cooldown, but it's usually, okay, goes to Pepper.
But there he is.
Oh,
That
it's
is
the
a surrender. That is a surrender vote.
GG to Moscow 5.